Chaos with the computers. And a special inspection at check-in.
Who's got a small instrument that they can play with while I'm checking you in? Musical,
I've got a small one.
Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. Come fly with me, let's fly away.
Every day at Luton Airport, more than 100 Easyjet passengers turn up late for their flights. And they all seem to come armed with a plausible excuse. Sometimes it's tough for the staff to sort out the truth from the fiction.
Please, just had a car crash in London, that's why I'm late. I've got this wedding reception to get to.
Be aware, you might not get onto this flight.
Would I be able to get on another one?
A car crash and a wedding reception. Katrina is intrigued by James Carroll's excuse.
What time does the reception start?
It's about 5-ish or something. So this flight would have got in perfectly. I'm meeting my girlfriend there. She's flown in from Italy to see me. So, this couldn't be worse. I have 3 hours to get here. Pardon?
You went to wedding.
Yeah.
I can.
Delayed 35 minutes.
Driver?
Delayed 35 minutes.
35 minutes. Is it? Thank God for that.
The 35 minutes delay to the Edinburgh flight has saved James's day. But the sales desk are in two minds about his story.
You didn't believe him, did you?
No.
Wedding reception.
I wanted to see if he could change his story. I wanted to see if he was lying, see if he'd mean him. That's all.
We get loads of people lying. It's really a shame because when those that are genuine, you don't know if to believe them or not. We must get about 6 people a day say they're going to miss a funeral. And we don't we get it a lot, especially...
Most days.
Yeah, especially on a weekend.
200 miles away in Liverpool, the afternoon flight to Nice is about to close. And college lecturer Laurent Monté is having a problem paying for his ticket.
Okay, I'm a professor, you know, in French. I must go in Paris for a judiciary affair, okay? I must go by Nice. There's no problem with this.
Yeah, but we need a card to go with it. You can go and cash a cheque at Thomas Cook and then pay us in cash.
It'll open at Palmer.
The plane.
Yeah, the plane's leaving in 20 minutes.
It'll open at 20 past 2.
Change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Monsieur Monté needs to get to Paris to give evidence in a murder trial. But first he must persuade somebody to cash his cheque.
Excuse me, I'm very, very angry. Okay? No, I'm angry. I paid my hotel with that. I paid my books with that, and I want, you know, to pay me money with that.
You can't clear. He gave us a chequebook and he had no guarantee card to cover for it. As well as that, the cheque was in French francs. We can only take cheques that are in sterling.
And with time running out, the frustration is starting to build.
You know, I want to see your director, responsible person, you know. I want now. No, what now?
To be honest with you, I don't think anywhere's going to be able to do it for him because it's in French francs.
No, I want now. I want to go now, you know. It's possible. No, it's now.
Monsieur Monté is now too late for the Nice flight. So sales desk agent Joanne Johnson has offered him a seat for the following day. But still there's the problem of how to pay.
Right. Okay, just wanted to confirm it with you anyway. All right. Okay, bye-bye. No, you most definitely can't take it without a cheque guarantee card.
I can't understand why.
I've explained to you why.
It's a valid payment.
Is it? Don't bang your hand on the desk.
I want to see a director. I want to see a director.
Life at the check-in is not for the faint-hearted. But there are plenty of people brave enough to volunteer. In fact, some will sacrifice anything to work at the airport. Even football. James Jensbaschen is playing in his local Sunday league. But tomorrow he has an interview with Easyjet.
So many different people you're going to meet there. It's going to be great. And the challenges with customers coming up to you face to face, asking you what you're doing, where's my plan and things like that. It'll be like, no problem. Hopefully I'll just be able to take it all on board and just push myself right up the ladder, hopefully.
Although it will mean giving up his favourite sport, he's desperate to join the check-in team.
But if I don't get it, I'll just keep on trying again. You know, from what I hear, airport's where I want to be.
But the competition will be tough. Up against James's Natalia Byrne, just arrived from Northern Ireland. With her impressive CV, it looks like she's got the edge on her rival.
It is very, very important to me personally because I've been now studying leisure for several years and have various qualifications, and I think that the tourism industry would definitely suit my personality traits. I've been like reading up on different things about Easyjet. I've been trying to get into my head what to actually say and things like that, so hopefully I'm the right person. I want the job. I'm qualified, so it's more or less up to them.
Working at the airport may be a dream job for Natalia and James, but it won't all be plain sailing.
Yeah, the water.
At the Liverpool sales desk, Monsieur Monte has reached boiling point. They still won't accept his cheque.
Can we have security at our desk, please? From the minute you come to this desk, you're throwing things at me, so I'm unwilling to help you anymore. So I've got security down to remove you. If you told you, if you want to get the information desk to give you the number for Manchester Airport, that's all I can do for you.
So I understand the point of view, you know, I understand.
Okay. Now even the security men manage to get roped into the discussion.
Why could you do an exception for a check? Because there is a money on the
check. What it is, it's not an international bureau. Where that desk over there, it's not international. It's not an international exchange. That's why they can't exchange it. But if you step to one side, we'll try and sort something out for you. Okay.
There's only so much you can take. We've tried to help him from the minute he come to this desk. And I explained to him from the minute I walked over to Thomas Cook, I explained to him that he wasn't going to get on this flight today. And I don't know how many times I said it to him. Although he carried on the phone, I told him to get the credit card number, he wasn't happy with that. So he threw the book at me. So I threw the book at him and I'm not going to help him anymore.
Monsieur Monte has finally had to accept defeat, and the Paris court will have to wait for their witness. From departures to arrivals, the Rothwell Temperance Brass Band have turned up at Luton to fly out to an international competition.
Are you a band?
We're a brass band, yes.
Oh, fantastic. How many are you going out for?
Just for the weekend. We're going to Switzerland.
Wonderful. Excellent.
So we asked for you especially, actually.
Did you? Does that mean you're going to play me some music then while I check you in?
Ever ready to liven up check-in, Jane Bolton persuades the band to give an impromptu performance.
Who's got a small instrument that they can play with while I'm checking you in? Musical,
I've got a small one.
Oh, dear.
The group are competing against 12 other nations to see who will walk away with the trophy for the top brass band in Europe.
Excellent. Very nice. Thank you. If you play like that on the night, you do very well, Miss Expert.
Geneva Airport. In true Swiss fashion, a model of planning and efficiency. But tomorrow, Easyjet are taking over. The man under pressure will be Luton manager Alan Derbyshire. His job is to oversee the operation as his team take control of Easyjet check-ins from local handling agents.
First passengers should come through the doors, and then we'll just take it from there, and we will ring it.
The airline have employed 35 new local staff to take over the checking in of passengers, and Tony Boswell is one of 10 British advisors helping out.
Now I'm nervous. I wasn't yesterday, now I am, but I think it'll be all right. As long as I know what they're doing, I know what I'm doing here, and it should be fine.
But some of the newly recruited Swiss staff don't quite know what to expect.
Between excited and scary, because we don't know what we are going to do. We have no idea. We're just waiting for the information.
After the break, what happens when you can't drive, you can't walk, and now you're told you can't fly?
Tell her to come down and tell me to my face I've got to wait.
And James has his interview, but will he get the job?
I've got a concern about his football. I know he says it won't be a problem, but I know how committed they are, and we've been up against it before.
It's 6 a.m. in Geneva, and Easyjet are about to take over the running of their check-ins. But already things aren't going according to plan. Supervisor Elaine McMenamin has discovered a problem with the computers.
all the agents, they've got all their individual passwords, and they should work, but for some reason they're not. So we're just trying to find out why they're not working. We've got a few passengers, but not very many. Obviously, it's always like this at the beginning. But we're used to these hiccups. I'm sure we'll get it fixed.
But most of the computers are now down, and the passengers must be checked in manually.
Geneva Luton 901, yeah?
This is Geneva Luton. You did Geneva Luton.
For the passengers, it may not look as if there's a crisis. For the staff, though, the stress is taking its toll. But Alan is still managing to put on a brave face.
As we expected, the usual glitches. We're still trying to get into some of the check-in desks. The codes have been a bit temperamental. But we've got a limited number of passengers, so we'll get through this first hour or so. No problem.
This is completely wrong.
But Alan has spoken too soon. With no computers, the inevitable mix-up happens. There's been a miscount of passengers by new assistant Muriel Lathian on the Luton check-in. The pressure is proving too much. With manual check-ins and the danger of more mistakes, the managers must tighten up organisation on the desks.
We cannot have 3 desks open because the boarding cards go in sequence and they're not going in sequence. We've got a handful of boarding cards over. Someone's got, I don't know what the boarding cards they've got. We've checked it all in, the flight's gone, but we're going to have to sort something out about excess baggage, not asking the questions. It's just teething trouble, so we're going to have to get this sorted out now. I need to speak to the girls.
At Luton Airport, the day is not going any more smoothly for check-in agent Helen Skeggs. She's dealing with a combination of late passengers, delayed flights and bad tempers.
The plane's still here, why can't you put me on it?
Because there's a such thing called a load sheet. We have fuel figures, we have male, females, and if we just get 1 or 2 passengers on, it makes a hell of a difference. It means changing the fuel, it means changing it a lot, and then it will delay a flight. So there's...
You've left me with that, I've got nothing with me.
I understand what you're saying, but...
Michael Fitzgerald is angry. Not only is he recovering from a motorbike crash, but a delay on his plane from Scotland means he's missed his connection on the last flight to Liverpool.
We delayed your flight, didn't we?
Yeah, you delayed it, yeah.
Obviously, I can apologise for that, but I can get you on tomorrow, and that's all I can do, sir.
The flight was late coming in to Inverness, so I've missed the connection. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got nothing with me.
And he's not the only one who's been stranded.
I have, yeah.
They say it's closed. I mean, I've got 20 minutes, 15 minutes.
It's been here half an hour before.
Yeah, well, if it takes 3 hours to get, from the bloody from London up to Luton.
Yeah.
It's basically a false economy, isn't it? Easyjet, you pay like cheap flight.
Not at all. It's easy.
Cool. I mean, you've got 20 minutes. It's just down the road, and you're not.
Sir, I understand you're angry, but you need to be here half an hour before. It's not as easy as just getting on the bus.
I left London at 5 o'clock.
I can't help the time you leave home to get here, sir.
No, well, it's an experience I won't be repeating.
For businessman Michael Peschner, everything seems to have gone wrong today.
I left London at 5 o'clock. Trying to get to King's Cross is closed. Okay, that's not your fault. You have to find an alternative route to King's Cross, and then you have to wait for the train. There's just no easy connection. Plus it costs, 10 quid just getting here each way. It's not a cheap way to travel around. Plus my time is not worth, the extra 20 quid, 40 quid I'm saving.
Meanwhile, in a nearby hotel, Easyjet are holding their job interviews. Dozens of original applicants have been whittled down to 14. They're chasing just a handful of passenger service posts. It's a tough selection process, and Natalia has come armed with plenty to say.
I was working actually in the post office in the morning. I was a manager of a gym, and I was doing a postgrad, and I was teaching 12 hours as well through the week, and I had lesson plans and an essay to do. And I also had a social life, and this was all in 1 week, well, continuously.
And there's more.
So much to do, and I succeeded, passed everything successfully, got loads of friends out of it, had loads of good times, got all my work done, got money as well and experience, and I felt like, I achieved so much. Yeah.
She was brilliant. Good, isn't she? Very good, yeah. She's definitely going to be moving onwards and upwards very quickly.
Very friendly, to put me at ease, felt very relaxed.
Once she gets to know the airline industry, I think she will be. Yeah. Definitely management. Yeah, she'll be very good. Excellent candidate. She's a definite yes.
There's no doubt about it. Natalia has got the job. James, meanwhile, has it all left to prove. And at the airport, Helen's still under fire.
Where did you want to go?
So I want to go to
Liverpool?
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
For which I had 20 minutes time, but all this has been reduced.
I understand, but you know you have to be here half an hour.
Well, I'd like to have been here. I thought by, setting off from central London at 5 o'clock, I would have had ample time to get here. But obviously not.
What is it, delays in trains or something?
Well, there's a tube and then the train doesn't get there. There's not a train every 10 minutes like going to Heathrow.
Yeah.
There's no Luton Express. Well, I haven't seen one.
Luton Express from London. If King's Cross, it goes straight to Luton. Obviously, I can't...
I'm comparing with Heathrow.
Right, OK.
Is there any way to get me onto the flight?
I will try for you, but they've said no, but obviously I'll ask again, but I don't think...
I have no luggage to check in. I just have to physically go there.
That luggage doesn't make a difference, but I'll see what I can do, OK?
Back at the interviews, it's James's turn for the hot seat. And how long can he hold out before turning the conversation towards football?
When you look back over the past years, either at work or in your personal life, are you generally satisfied with what you've achieved?
Greatest achievement. That would be, not work-related, it would be something that I do a weekend, so I play a lot of sport, especially football. Football, obviously, is a course of a long season. It takes about 10 months of my life every weekend. I've never had a lion for a long time. I don't know what lions are like these days, but obviously playing in sport and football, especially football, is a team environment, and it's not just an individual thing with 11 people on the field, and you have to play for each other. And over the course of the year, I was awarded at the end of the season Manager's Player of the Year. I was very surprised to get it, but when I did get it, I looked back and I thought, yeah, I've done well. I put my heart and soul into it, and other players that I played with come out and said, excellent, we thought you were the best man over the course of the 10 months or whatever it is. So that's my great achievement, is what I think. So I'm confident, but I might have to ask the audience, but I'm confident. But fingers crossed, I've had good vibes so from the teamwork, and it seems to come across well with the interviewees, so hopefully I think I'll be all right.
But James has scored an own goal. His football trophies have not impressed the panel as much as he thinks.
I've got a concern about his football. I know he says it won't be a problem, but I know how committed they are, and we've been up against it before.
I love football bits, and if I have to give it, I have to give up. Something has to give. So you want to progress, you've got to make sacrifices, and that has to be my sacrifice, so there you go.
When I asked him his greatest achievement, he was so full of his trophy and that he'd achieved it, he gave it his all, and now he's, in the next breath, I'll give that up. I don't think so.
I told the lads, I'll give it up.
Yeah.
So while the panel have no doubts about Natalia, the jury is still out on James. In Geneva, they're still battling with the computer system. They desperately need to get it running in time for the next flight. At last, Elaine McMenamin's cracked the passwords. Now, hopefully, it will be business as usual. 1 hour later, and normality has returned to Geneva Airport. To Alan's relief, the check-ins are now running smoothly, and the early flights have taken off with only slight delays.
Thank you very much. You've all done an excellent job. OK, for the first flights, excellent. With all the problems that we had, we couldn't have asked for any more, so please, thank you.
Thank you.
For Muriel, all's well that ends well.
I was nervous, that's why, I don't know, you see, I cried after the first half an hour. So but now I'm feeling okay. And I just made checking for Barcelona, and it was great. Everybody was so nice.
Back in Luton, Helen has delivered some bad news to Amsterdam passenger Michael Peschner. The flight has left without him.
When is the next flight?
It is tomorrow.
Right, so you're going to put me up? No.
You need to be here on time. Whether you have to leave at 2, 3, you need to be here on time.
So it's not a cheap
right?
flight, though, is my point.
Of course it's a cheap flight. It's a cheap flight if you make it. If you don't make it, that's not our fault.
But you see, my time that I would have to leave earlier is worth more than the savings on another.
Well, then obviously, if you're not...
It's obviously, I mean, it's an experience I won't be repeating. It's the first time I'm flying Easyjet, and I certainly won't...
Okay, that's not a problem. Now, do you want to get transferred for a charge or not for tomorrow?
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
but even tomorrow's flight is filling up fast.
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Right.
In the morning.
Is there room on that one, Willie?
On the 6 o'clock one, yeah?
Yeah, there's room on that one, so we can transfer onto that, okay?
What, 6 o'clock in the morning, yeah?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Why have you got my name?
No, I'm afraid you all have to join this queue. Sorry about that, sir. If he's late, he's late. There's nothing I could do about that. So people like that, I just, like I say, I do what I can, but I won't go all my way like the man who generally couldn't do nothing for himself on crutches. All right then. Okay, cheers, babe. Bye.
Helen is determined that Michael shouldn't have to sit in Luton for the next 12 hours.
They said, no, we'll have to transfer you and everything. I said, please. He said, no, he can't do nothing. He can't do anything on his own. So a bigger boss is in at 7 o'clock. so I'm going to have to hold tight for another 10 minutes or so. All right? I said you can't go on your own nowhere.
Tell her to come down and tell me to my face I've got to wait. I don't want to lose my temper with you.
Is there any possible way that we could refund his ticket so he could get a taxi home? Or even put up accommodation, anything for him, because he's got Liverpool?
She's okay. Obviously, that's why you don't kick off, isn't it? People like her.
Can I give him a refund? Because obviously we, you know. So put you in a hotel, we'll get you a taxi to the hotel, and on the first flight tomorrow.
Are they going to pay for all that?
We're going to pay for that.
And they'll get me back here in time, in the morning.
Of course we will.
Right.
Pick up myself.
James Carroll really did have a wedding to go to, and he says he's got the snaps to prove it. The Rothwell Temperance Brass Band impressed the judges in Switzerland and won the international trophy.
Thank you.
And despite all the doubts, James got the job as a passenger service agent.
Excellent. Brilliant.
An historic moment for Easyjet boss Stelios.
I don't think I've felt this nervous. Probably 2 times in my career I felt this nervous.
A Coronation Street star jets off to the sun.
Just don't show them my passport photograph.
And for one passenger, things can't get any.
Last week, and I've got no money, and I've got a job interview. Please help me.